Good morning and welcome to Tarot Time. And if you're watching this as a video, we're going to dive into this in just a minute. This is a big week coming up. We have the new moon is today. It actually happened last night. So if you're on the West Coast, it was officially November 30th. But we're in the new moon. What else is going on? Mercury's retrograde. Mars is going to go retrograde on the 6th or the 5th. Neptune's going to go direct on the 6th. And all these aspects, when I add them all up, it's telling us we need to step back. We need to slow down a little bit. We've been running on adrenaline between the American elections, the British elections, everything that's been going on, these strong frequencies. This is a time for a reset. It's still going to be an active week and an active month, but that's the general message. So it's going to be interesting to see what the cards have to say about this week. So we do a 3-card spread. I do a meditation card. The information that comes through from spirit, some of it's channeled also, may pertain to your life personally, or your family or community, or the world at large, or a combination thereof. So I've got different divination cards. And this is also kind of our community time. So I'll be looking at your comments, maybe of flashing a few of your comments and going into conversation that way. So anyway, I'm going to see who's on, and then we're going to start. So hello, Josh, and Mr. Floyd's universe. So I'll be doing some work on Good Dawning with Mr. Floyd on Friday the 6th, when Neptune is stationed and Mars is stationed also. So that's his channel. Hello, Izzy, Margaret, welcome. And if you're new and you want to say hi, and we're in this great big wide world you are tuning in from, that'd be great. So here's the note for that. So that's Mr. Floyd's Universe channel. So hello, Becky. Hello, Izzy. Hello, Brooke. By the way, if you guys missed last night, we did it was about an hour and 10 minutes. We just talked about the month of December, and boy, I got quite a comment stream from that. It just kind of shows, what a state of programming that people are really in, and how people are really easily triggered and not awake yet. So our job here is to help us awaken to spirit, to energy, to frequency. And by doing that, then we start to awaken to the ills of the world, the political strife and all that stuff. But it really starts with spirit, and that starts with opening our hearts. And then we can be in the center. We can be in the eye of the storm. We can understand what's going on without being compromised by having certain, not beliefs, but programmed opinions. I don't know if I'm explaining that right, but anyway, it was an interesting morning catching up on some of the comments. Hello, Valerie from New Mexico. Welcome. It was about somewhere in the mid upper teens here today, which is in New Mexico now. Yeah, thank you. It was great. I thought it was good also. Yes. So let me see who else we're with. Margaret, Miss Floyd, Roseanne, welcome. Happy Sunday. Hi, Michael. Welcome live. Hello, Mr. Floyd again. Mars retrograde into Cancer. So is it in Leo now? Yeah, I think it's in Leo, and it's going to go into Cancer. I think that's where we're at with Mars. So Mars and Mercury's already retrograde. And I know I'm missing a few people. Hello, Star. Hello, Margaret. Hi, Katie. All right, you guys I know I'm a couple minutes late. Hi, Carla. So I know if I miss anybody, from Texas, welcome. I've got a lot of people in the Austin area that tune into the channel. A lot of people in Colorado, also all over. So what else? So the energetics are what they are. It's a transcendence. It's a frequency shift that's affecting all of us. It's affecting the planet. New information comes in. It affects the fields of consciousness, and that can show up as new experiences, new spirit guides, new insights, new maybe extraterrestrial intelligences affecting us, new insights into the ups and downs of the USA elections, as well as what's going on in other countries with the escalation and de-escalation of battles around the world. It's all resetting, and there's very high frequencies. It's been building for quite a while. 2022 was kind of like the beginning of this phase, from my understanding. That's when the master teachers, the group that I channel, declared that the light had won, but then cautioned us that it's still going to take a matter of decades for things to reset in the physical, because the physical is very dense. But we reached the tipping point about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago. So there's more light that's coming in. There's more consciousness that's opening up, that's unfolding. More people are having awakenings. People that already had awakenings are having further awakenings, or assimilating the energies and knowledge of the awakenings that they've had, and they're starting to find their niches or their life calling after they've had the awakening, and realizing that they're more than they believe that they were. Then new callings come in, new understandings, and then going in new direction. I know some of you started YouTube channels, started channeling. Some people open practices, and it's not always going to be like psychic or energy healing. A lot of you that have awakenings may find a calling in something that would seem a little bit more mundane, but still very important in the transcendence of the old and into the unveiling of the new, so to speak. So anyway, what else? Hi, Becky, Yvonne. Hi, Miss Annie. See who else is coming on? Queen Roselle and Yvonne. Welcome, 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 everybody. From Georgia. Hi, from Georgia. Very good. So I'm in the Catskill Mountains in New York, although they're really hills. They're not really mountains, but they're called the Catskill Mountains. They're big hills. 4,000 feet elevations from the valleys. That's Slide Mountains, the highest peak in the Catskills. I guess those are mountains, anyways. If you're in Colorado, they're hills. But in any event, I'm trying to think what else is going on. There's just so much. Again, Mercury's in retrograde. Mercury's really that communication when Mercury's in retrograde, because that's the mind, that's air. So we're meant to step back and maybe reprogram also, and understanding that sometimes the connections can be a little bit flawed. But then Mars is stationed and it's going to go retrograde also. Mars really affects the technology. So when both of those are retrograde together, pack a lot of patience. But Mars is the planet of energy. So when it goes retrograde, it's more like understanding what our energies are. Maybe, keeping some energies in reserve, so to speak. Maybe thinking or just allowing ourselves not to react blindly to things, not to have knee-jerk reactions, but rather to step back and to take things in before reacting or responding to what's going on in the world or the environment or stuff like that. I feel like spiritually, read a good book, and maybe some Joe Dispenza books. You Are the Placebo, or Becoming Supernatural, or good ones, or whatever it is. 1111. Thanks, Yvonne, and welcome. Watch your anger. Okay. Retrograde into Cancer. So that's interesting. It's in Leo now. I see. I have my ephemeris handy. Well, I should have my next calendar. So Mars is currently at 6 degrees Leo. So it's retrograding from 6 degrees. It's going to go back into Cancer in January, basically. Hey, Jody, welcome. Somebody else who's in Texas. So that's great. And that's basically it. We talked a lot about what's going on, post-election stuff, other things that are going on in the world last night. And you can catch that live stream as a video about the full December forecast, channel messages, recommended spiritual exercises, trends that we're likely to see in the world with the climate and all that kind of stuff. So that's there. And you're at 7,800 feet. Wow, nice. When I visited New Mexico, it was a long time ago. We stayed near Los Gatos. So I know we were in the Southern Rockies somewhere, and we went somewhere. We just where it was that high in the mountain or higher up, but the beautiful country. Yeah, I miss it. Gonna say, oh yeah, tonight at 7 we're gonna do some frequency channeling. Heather's gonna do her healing work. Heather Istara, so she works on the medium channel sometimes. Also, I'm gonna do the transmissions with the master teachers. The idea is to reset our energetic fields, our nervous systems, and our bodies to be able to assimilate what we've experienced energetically with all the light code transmissions from the central sun through the very active physical sun through the conscious fields, and how the energies change our energetic fields. They change our bodies also. They change our cellular structures, intercellular patterns, and stuff like that. So these higher frequencies affect us both a physical level and an energetic level. So this transmission is going to introduce new light code transmissions for you to reset into these new energies, to be able to heal, to regroup, so to speak, and to start to come into the new energies for your next level of awakening. So it's going to be very powerful, in other words. So that's live at 7 Eastern time tonight. If you don't catch it live, you catch it as a video. Even though it's not live, you're still getting the same transmission. It's not dependent on time and space. So how y'all from Texas? Yeah, to go down and visit. Yeah, Texas and New Mexico and Colorado. All these wonderful places. So anyhow, so let's do a meditation card to start. Got my water handy. I got virtually, if not literally, no sleep last night. So this should be interesting. It's all spirits. The sleep is just of the body. So it's really, once you're in the mode of spirit, I've gone days without sleep before. I'm sure you have too. So I'm just going to pull what spirit, spirit and I are going to pull a card that'll be very conducive to our meditations this week. This one here. This is the one I got, which is kind of an ascension card in a way. The Eight of Cups is the figure cloaked in red, which is energy and action, has his back to the established cups, what the figure has accomplished already, and it's going into the mounds for the unknown to seek higher ground, so to speak. So, hi Laura, grand rising to you too. Well, only 23 on chat. I think everybody's still sleeping out there. Usually we're at about 40 or 50 by now. And in this card, this is the Morgan Greer deck. So, and this figure could be like a guide that's leading you to some new, I mean, it could be whatever it is, but it could be a guide that's leading you to some new experiences, new spiritual heights or stuff like that. So meditating with tarot, my recommendation is, like any meditation, get very present, relaxed, and open. You clear your mind, no thoughts, your energy, your frequency. And then in your mind, step into the cards. You can take a mental snapshot of my Eight of Cups or pull your Eight of Cups if you have a different deck. And then as soon as you step into the cards, you want to be so present. You're not your name or body or energy, and you can feel energy and sense energy. So as soon as you step into the card, it's like, what do you feel? How's the energy different? What do you feel? And don't try to intellectualize it, just get it. Basically, don't think, just set the intention and get it. And then you may get smells, you may get sound, you may get different scenes that you don't see in the card, as part of the panoramic view. There may be other beings, other figures, but the first thing is, what do you feel? And then ask for messages or ask for guidance, basically. Again, the Eight of Cups it's an interesting card because it's really about like like ascension, basically, and the willingness to leave what you have behind in order to seek, higher and greater. So this is a great, for December 1st, for Universal 11 month. So we talked about that last night on the live stream. I'll if I remember, I'll post it on the pinned comment, but it's on the channel. It has the breaking news thumbnail, so it's easy to find it. And yeah, so we definitely dove into the meaning of 11 and how that numerology is really about overcoming the lower in order for ascension to happen, basically. So when 11's in play, this is number 8. Interestingly, in the tarot, the strength card, which is the lion, the one with the lion, the card that represents Leo and the lion tamer, that used to be key 11, and they switched it to key 8 in the 1800s. So that's modern tarot, but in old tarot, strength was key 11, and in Chaldean numerology, number 11 symbols lion muzzle and clenched fist. So it's really about overcoming that lower nature, the more dense human, through evolution of consciousness, through higher will, and by doing that, they were able to transcend some of the cycles, the cause and effects in our lives, the programming, all that stuff, in order to have more of a pure and holistic experience of spirit, God, or source, basically. So I think that's really a big part of it. So anyway, let's do a 3-card spread now. And we'll talk about what's coming on the week. Then I've got all kinds of other divination decks, oracle cards, lots of fun stuff we do on the Sunday mornings. What do you guys have to say about everything? This is Josh's recommendation about the Mars retrograde. I'm always watching my anger because I have a tendency to get frustrated. Exactly my point. Yeah. Basically, what the Catskill Mountains are an eroded plateau. That's what the Catskill Mountains are, and the from the last ice age, that it created these valleys, so it eroded away a plateau that's part of the. It's not part of the Appalachians. It's part of the Allegheny Plateau, the Catskill Mountains, but it's higher up. But if you go back millions of years, there's a time that the Catskill Mountains were the tallest mountain range on the whole planet. And one time when I was, I think when I first moved up here, so that would have been the early 2000s. I forgot what mountain. It might have been Slide Mountain. I hiked to one of the highest peaks, and I found a fossilized seashell at the top of the mountain. So that was really amazing. There's a time in history that the Catskill Mountains are underwater also. So interesting evolution of our planet. Oh, you're blessed with child energy. Good for you. Son's girlfriend has a 2-year-old. Wow. Oh, I'm so happy. Happy with the grandchild. Yeah. And then being at the base of front range of the Rocky. Well, if you look up at 40,000 feet, you ain't got no mountains. But I can still sing Fire on the Mountain. Fire on the mountain. Unfortunately, there was fire on the mountain a couple of weeks ago. Peekamoose Mountain, one of the beautiful peaks of the Catskill, to be clear, had a big forest fire, and up the road from me, about 5 miles away, there were brush fires around my house. Then it rained, then it snowed again, and we're good now. Good morning, Christina. All right, so 3-card spread. This one wants to come out, so we already got our first card. And even none of the others popped out. This one. This one. All right. We may do another one. The first one, interesting. The first one was the 8 of Swords reverse, so we'll talk about that in a second. really interesting. One of the things I feel like it's saying for us is, you know, Laura's mentioning her grandchild is like enjoy these family, these simple things in life now. Again, this is kind of a time to reset. The Ace of Swords reversed next to the King of Wands. Kings can be leaders, rulers. Wands is about fire. Now, I'm looking and trying to kind of frame Donald Trump into this card, although he's a Gemini, so technically he'd be the King of Swords. Um, but one of the things that we talked about last night was the specter of voter fraud or manipulation of voting or stuff like that. And my belief, my intuition, I have nothing tangible to back it up, but my intuition says that they're already looking at certain districts and already looking at the possibility that there's some manipulation in the voting. I honestly don't think the elections are going to get overturned. I don't think we've had a full clean election for a very, very long time in this country. And there's forces that are manipulating. I mean, on one hand, they're manipulating the thinking of the people. That's part of the media's job, to influence the mass thinking or the thinking of the masses, the mass programming, and and such. But I had some interesting comments, which I forgot who commented, but they were kind of saying that there may have been something going on with Musk and what country? Russia. Of course, Russia. That they were somehow able to you know manipulate things, or put it that way. And interesting, in 2016, I had gotten some intel from a client that's connected to cybersecurity in the Pentagon, and this is just what I heard. So I don't know this, so I'm not trying to spread any false news or anything. But what I heard is that the 2016 were also manipulated, but it was coming out of Ukraine, not Russia, as the theory had, and my head just started to buzz when I said that. So I think Spirit is backing that up to some degree. Again, it's just my opinion on it. But if there's any truth to that theory, until it's a fact, it's still a conspiracy theory until it becomes a conspiracy fact. I mean, maybe it is a fact and we don't know about it. But my feeling about this is that there's a couple things. One, that there's a belief among certain circles that Donald Trump, the figurehead, not necessarily him or his ideas or him being the Messiah or any of that stuff, is here to shake things up and here to reform things, basically. It's just a belief, and that there's certain people or certain organizations that would feel justified in manipulating the election in order for that to happen, as part of the wake up. You can believe that or not, or disagree. That's up to you, basically. Um, so so that would be my take if something like that happened. But again, I don't know. So this is pure conjecture. But the reason I'm talking about it, I think that pure conjecture is going to come up more and more amongst other people as well, understanding, trying to understand what happened and everything like that. And the other thing is, I do believe that they still believe, it may be true, it may not be, that the 2020 was stolen from them. So they decided to make sure the 2024 was not stolen. Maybe it was reverse stealing. I don't know. But the thing is, and this is kind of the bottom line, in my opinion, about all this stuff, is that there's a lot of corruption on many, many levels. It's very, very deep. It includes not just this country, but other countries, elected officials, as well as a lot of other things that are happening. And all of this mayhem is coming to the surface in order to uncover this corruption and start to clean things up, basically. Do I believe that that's Trump's intention? Personally, I don't. Other people do believe that. But I do believe that spirit or higher forces or whatever has kind of created this. And as I always said for the last 8+ years, love him or hate him, this is the figure, this is the catalyst to bring the corruption to the surface. Again, it may not be that he's doing that intentionally, but that he's the catalyst, the polarizing figure, that people love him or hate him, that he's either pissing everybody off with his language, with his apparent disregard for environmental concerns, um, domestic programs like Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps, and all that. And again, I'm just saying apparent because I don't know. This is we rely on what we're told by media and then by alternative media that's supposed to have greater insight and less bias. So we rely on the information. What we need to do, and this is our little Mercury Mars retrograde thing, is take everything in, but try to let it go. Try not to be programmed one way or another, but go into your heart and just work on your own ascension, work on your own spiritual growth and expansion. The answers will come. I do have more information that they're giving me. The only thing is I can't really share it on YouTube, because they might take the video down. But on Patreon, I share more. That's on Spirit Mind Family. That's our membership group. It's $5 a month. You can actually join for free, but to get the good stuff, it's $5 a month. And we do live videos. We have Zoom meetings. We do extra videos. I share techniques that I don't share anywhere else. We do channeling, more advanced, higher level channeling with the master teacher. So that's a good time for a little bit of a plug. So what are you guys saying? So hi, Katie, by the way. So in the remote viewers groups, more people. Interesting. Oh, I think I think I missed something leading. Tampering from the losing side. Yeah. Interesting. I did remote viewing too. Oh, let me hide this comment. Because before the election, leading up to around mid-October even, it's interesting. It turned out to be very prophetic, but I did a whole like video on the astrology, numerology, the candidates, and I ascertained just through those tools that Harris would have the edge to win the election. And up until a little bit before Halloween, I thought I thought she was going to take it, and the astrology, numerology favored it. But I think what was prophetic at the very end, I said, well, what I'm getting that this is still Kamala's election to lose, basically. And if you look at what happened, I don't feel like her team campaigned properly based on the fact that it's 2024, where Trump was on the podcast, was learning from what failed in 2020 and changing strategies. So anyway, so then it's a little before Halloween. I was in a very good space, so I decided to remote view because I say that I'm not biased, and I'm really not, compared to most people anyway. But we all have, until we're completely purged 100% of programming, we all have prejudices and biases. It's programmed into us. But that said, I was in a space because to get psychic information, which is why I look at the predictions before the election, who predicted Trump would win, who would predict Biden, and almost across the board, these psychics, the ones that not Biden, Harris, were the ones that were more Democratic leaning, basically, and the ones that predicted Trump were the ones that were more into Trump, basically. So it's like it's very hard to get out of that personal prejudice. We have to be 100% clear, and then intuition is 100% accurate. So getting back to the story, I was in that place. I got very clear. I remote viewed into the future, went into the White House, and I saw Donald Trump sitting in the Oval Office, and I was like, holy crap. And that's when I changed my prediction, which turned out to be accurate. But anyway, it was truly debatable, certainly. Happy new moon, blindly inspired. Yep. And Katie saying, I'm with you on probably now. Yeah, and there's always clues. If you know how to look at things, there's always clues. Remember Obama, right, and Biden, right? Um, Similar things came up. Was Obama really, by the laws, qualified to be president? What he, based on his, ancestry or whatever? But what I was telling people, and at the time I was still a Democrat. I became independent, as a voter shortly after that. So I was still a Democrat, and but at the same time, I'm saying, look at the name. Look at the name Osama bin Laden. Then look at Obama, Biden. There's only two letters that separate those. Osama bin Laden and Obama, Biden are almost the same word with just two letters that are different. And I found that really, really fascinating. And the other thing I found fascinating, but it took like 10 freaking years to supposedly find bin Laden and take him out, basically, like, supposed public enemy to the planet. Although there's references in the Noriega papers that he was on the payroll at one time of the U.S. So what goes on behind the scenes is not what we see. Honestly, I'm not an expert, so I can't pinpoint every detail. But we'll just say there's forces, there's powers that control the movement of the nations, the corporations, or stuff like that. So anyway, you look at Osama bin Laden. He was 6'8". He was on dialysis. He's in camped down in the desert somewhere. Meanwhile, there's satellites that can find pennies on Fifth Avenue, Manhattan. That are that clear, and it took them 10 years to find bin Laden. I mean, let's see if we can step out of the programming and just use our common sense, we'll have a better idea. It's almost like they just do things and dare people to see through it, basically, but it's very transparent. Once you clear that, it's very clear that this is like a big game. It's all very manipulated. It's all very step by step and orchestrated. So anyhow, so what else are you guys saying? Birthplace. Good. You had the right prediction then. The Trump win. Yeah, there is a frequency with names, and spirit is always providing clues. Always pointing us in the direction of truth. Yeah, well, absolutely. Yeah, and so that's the way I see it, especially because the system is inherently violent. Right, exactly. And behind the Germans designed houses for him. Interesting. Thank you for that bit of insight. The Bin Laden fan is very close to George Bush. Yeah, I mean, I think the Noriega papers are like 800 pages long. I mean, I obviously didn't read the whole thing, but that's very interesting. And Katie saying, I'm honestly admit, I've called President-elect's terror name by that one. As how names as past have changed. Just learned GMA side. Strauss was a real name at first. So sometimes they do change their names. Yeah. Interesting. And the Germans have many uses to love the castles of his. Yeah, I go on a trail through. It goes through Woodstock to Hunter Mountain. It's called the Devil's Path Trail, which is very rugged for the Catskills. It's more like the Adirondacks, basically. Hiking the Adirondacks, and I've seen people from India, people from China. It's like I'm fortunate enough to live somewhere where people all around the world come to hike. Catskill Park is legendary. So yeah, PT. Soulful 14. All right. Oh, hi, Soulful. Welcome. Um, and they dumped him in the sea, so there's no witness. Oh, wow. Yeah. A lot going on. Yeah. So I don't know if Soulful, if you have anything else to say besides that, because I don't understand what you're trying to say. Thank you, Millie. That seemed to be my path, my intuition. All right, so let me see what else I can glean from this. So so this is, again, sometimes the Ace of Swords, aces are new beginnings. It's reverse. To me, I often see that as a conception of some point, like the sword being representative of the phallus and the crown representative of the yoni. So this might be a good time to, with especially with Mercury retrograde and Mars station soon to be retrograde. This might be a good time to really conceptualize something new, some change in your life. So I think this week, go into meditation. What do you want to change in your life? Maybe it's your job, maybe it's your home, maybe it's something about your relationship, maybe it's something that you want to offer, something you want to invent, or a new business or new practice you want to offer. But this is a good time. That the veils are still thin, so Spirit is working with us to help us to raise our conscious fields, to open our crown chakras, to allow more light in, so to speak, and of course open our heart chakras, to give us these ideas that we've always had, but we haven't been able to access yet. So we're going to be able to access things that have been around us, that have been subconscious, into our conscious fields now. We're going to get some new ideas. So follow through on that, to trust that. The King of Wands, I mean, again, this could be about authority, about rules, laws, regulations, stuff like that, that come to the surface. Things around the alleged voter mishandling or stuff like that, and certain presidents to be, if he is inaugurated. Now the interesting thing is, and I've said this for a good while, I'm more concerned, if Trump, for whatever reason, wasn't to get inaugurated, I still think there's at least an 85 to 90% chance he will. I think it'd be more his health. And I get a little bit concerned about his health going bad, or maybe him even passing away while he's in the White House, and and things like that. And then a lot of people are nervous about Project 25. It's like, if he left and Vance was president, he'd be more of a supporter of those agendas. I think that's just a playbook. I don't think that was ever meant to happen, not in its totality. If you look at Project 2025, it's pretty scary, basically. Some of it's already happening, honestly. So some of it, yes, some of it, no. But then you're able to get, assuming he gets nominated, able to get RFK on board, and that's interesting. RFK is, to me, is the most interesting figure of the bunch. So I like to see what's going on with him and everything like that. Yeah, and Page of Cups is good news, so we may get some favorable news coming in. Things that may be relevant in our lives, family or stuff like that. But I think around the world and the country, I think that we hear a little bit more about an apparent ceasefire. I don't know if that's happening or not happening. That's more in Middle East and Palestine, Israel, in that area, and so maybe some better news in the economy, or some more favorable stuff. I think it's going to be very volatile in December in general. I'm going to learn a little bit more about crypto, but learn crypto, I think it's part of what they're saying, because that could be a very good, over the next period of time. That could be a very good investment. Always the precious metals, gold and silver. Especially with silver, as things do escalate, and unfortunately, hopefully they won't. But if battles do escalate, silver will be in demand for weapons, probably, or technology or stuff like that. But anyway, let's try to say. Yes, just so you kind of get out into nature a little bit more. And we're likely to have an overturning of something. That might be, in the world, not the elections, but So I have a feeling that that another one of either the cabinet choices might get voted out, or something happening on that level, or it could be a different country also, about an elected official having to bow out, kind of like Gates had to, or Getz. I think Getz is how you pronounce his name. Things of that nature. But this is also saying just stay strong in your frame now. The Page of Cups can be a little bit kind of too easily influenced by others. So there's kind of that dichotomy, or influenced by what's going on. But the King of Wands is very secure, very strong in his frame, or her frame, as the case may be. But it's fiery, but it's tempered by air, because the kings are air and wands are fire. So it's kind of like tempering emotional reactions with the mind, or with forethought and planning and stuff like that. So I think it's saying not to be reactive when you go out, to put your shields up, because people are very triggered. They're very easily upset and angered and stuff like that. And yes, as Mr. Floyd, as Josh was saying, watch your anger also. But I think this is a good time to really step back. You step out of the drama, go back into your heart, back into your spiritual practices. You'll be aware of what's going on out there, but not be triggered by it, and really start to appreciate your family, your loved ones. If you don't have family, friends, family of the heart, or just your pets, whatever it may be, and really appreciate those simple things. And tell people that you love them. This is important, that people need a lot of reassurance, and that we need to be connected with one another, that can see through some of the stuff that have the desires to continue with the awakening journeys and everything like that. So anyhow, you're saying about that. So I love watching the group, as when we discuss cryptos. I don't know anything, but as to see what's felt on a few words they get, and love the intuition when tuning in and had the unbiased take. Yes, and you're saying something about both Musk and Trump are both powerful, rich businessmen. I don't know what their intentions are, but they are on a similar vibe and trajectory. Yeah. And I think, yes, thank you. Good. Welcome, Tracy. Grand rising to you. They closed a few VW factories in Germany, and 100 people made redundant 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, so there's that too. But for this week, stay in our center, stay in our heart, stay in our frame, all that good stuff. And just see any. Well, I'll just clear my mind. See if any new information comes in. We're going to do some resetting tonight at 7. So do some frequency channeling with you here on the channel. Heather do some healing. We'll do some energetic resets for our energy fields to adapt and adjust to these new frequencies now. Our goal is to ascend gracefully with a minimum of ascension symptoms. And these types of things, I mean, part of it is just the natural adaptation of the physical being. Some of it's unavoidable, but a lot of it is. We need to clear the kinks in the energetic field. We need to release the past. You can't release what you don't embrace first. So we need to just check out the baggage, release the baggage, because when the frequencies keep getting higher and higher, we can take the old earth stuff, the old baggage, into higher frequencies. Lower frequencies will not go into higher frequencies, and it's just going to bog you down, and it's just going to make it hard for you to ascend. Shadow integration work, very important. Just meditating, just being present, and just allowing these things to clear from your energy field, calling on God, spirit, or source to assist you, or the angels to assist you in clearing this. Forgiveness, we've been talking about that a lot lately, but a lot of us aren't forgiving, and therefore we're not able to release the baggage. So I've had bad things happen. I've had people screw me over. I've lost a job that I love based on false accusations of theft and stuff like that. I mean, some people have had even worse. But remember, when you forgive somebody, it's not for them, it's for you. Because you release their energy from your energetic fields. And we don't forgive, we don't condone, but we forgive, we don't forget. We forgive, but we don't forget, we don't condone. And again, we will use that famous Jesus quote from the cross saying, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." And what happened to Jesus after he said that? He resurrected. He went into his ascension when he forgave them for crucifying him. So take that. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And so much wisdom in the Bible. Also, there's a lot of rewriting and obviously there's that part of it. Organized religion is an organized mess and a programming tool unto itself. But if you're able to be in your heart, see, hearts can't be programmed. And then your brain and your heart connect when the more in your heart you are. So you can read the Bible, be able to discern true scripture and true wisdom versus what was added, and more importantly, what was omitted. That's what I'm more interested in. What scripture did not make it in the Bible. And if you really research that, you may find, coincidentally, that a lot of what didn't make it in the Bible was around the powerful women of the era. And then one powerful woman was I don't want to say reduced to being a prostitute, because was an honored profession. That was a form of healing, actually. But you know where I'm with that. So why live in fear? Yes, yes, Josh. Maybe Detroit will revitalize. Yeah. So people are very concerned about the proposed tariffs. I don't think it's going to happen. Not in that form. So that would affect prices of cars, because some parts, a lot of our, I think 70% of our produce comes from Mexico. So, and a lot of the manufacturing, especially lumber, a lot of that's Canada. I mean, I may have my specific facts a little bit off, but we import a lot from our neighboring countries. So this is a Native American tarot. So this just kind of gives me like a little extra message here. And we got mourning, the three of this is equivalent to the Three of Swords. So this is time, we are in a collective grief also. And I think that's a spirit's way of saying, and I may use that as a byline to describe this period. We had the big collective purge earlier in the year. Obviously, it's not complete because there's still a lot of collective shadows hanging around. Then we had the collective quantum leap. And I know that happened, or at least I believe it did. It was predicted through the master teachers. I felt the shift. It was right around the first to second week of August. In consciousness, quantum leaps happen over time. It's not like the electron that where the term came from, that it takes a millionth of a second for an electron to leap. It doesn't actually leap. It just happens so fast it appears to leap from a lower to a higher frequency, or higher orbital, as the case may be. So it takes months, maybe even years, for it to happen in consciousness. But the shift was in now, and now I think we're in the collective mourning. If spirits remind me, I have used that byline already on my live streams, and I think that's where we are. We know we can't go back to where we were. We don't know where we're going yet. We have to be in trust. We're like in the middle of the river. We can't go back to the old shore, but we don't know where the new shore is yet. So we have to be in this place of trust. And the one that created us will take care of us always. And they keep saying us. And the Bible, speaking of the Bible, they're always talking about trusting, always talking about faith and trust, that we really need that, because there is a higher power. There is a higher force. But because we are locked in these human bodies and human experiences and cut off from that, we feel like we need to do this to protect ourselves. We need to do this to do that. But if we're able to let go, allow the flow through us, and allow spirit to work with us, we're always going to be led in the right direction, and we're always going to be okay. And And if you go through a period of, like no money or illness or whatever, it's just part of your personal path trajectory to freedom and liberation and rejoining God's spirit or source. We've got to trust. Easier said than done, but we've got to do it. And again, so the Three of Swords, that's, mourning, that's that. So it's okay. Let yourself grieve of what's lost. It's like, I think it's actually, might have been Elon Musk, but one of them, just saying, when the pandemic hit, was just saying, people talk about getting back to normal, but there's no normal to get back to. Nothing's going to be the same again, and that was, the pandemic, and we're still experiencing these massive shifts, basically. So you guys saying, healing 2XO is only 10% awake. So what Michelle, what they were saying, there's earlier in the year that, or even last year, that there's going to be in the next year 1 to 3% of new people are going to be awakening, and that's huge. That's a lot of people, and that would be enough to achieve a tipping point. So that's very interesting. Just a lot indeed is knowing and allowing and having a high power force to trust. I'm grateful. Still a child, but a bit scared. Yeah, there'd be something wrong with us if we weren't a little bit scared. I mean, unless you're like Gandhi, or you're totally one with source and one with God, in which case you'd be an enlightened master, basically. That's just our human survival instinct, to be scared of the unknown. That's just part of our survival. So yes, your light is needed. Whoever that's directed to, your light is absolutely needed. Yeah. Love the movie references. Yeah, did I make a movie reference, or did you guys make one? I can't even keep track. 11:55 changes. Yes, changes. One of the things my attention span diminishes when I go through these periods of no sleep. I think I slept as much this past week as the average person sleeps in one night. I'll put it that way. And none, none last night. None. My mind are ego. Yeah, we have to recognize we have egos. We have personal minds. But the objective is that's supposed to serve spirit, not the other way around. So like the ego is the servant, not the master. And I'll tell you, it's crazy. Like every step that I go, like my ego really tries to get in the way and mess up my practices. So I know how that is, and we have to just stay the course, not get frustrated. It's like, all right, we'll try better next time. I have Moonology cards, by the way. So we're in a new moon. So these cards are really cool because they give different lunar phases and the meaning behind them, basically. So we got here is new moon in Capricorn. Well, that's next month. This is new moon in Sagittarius. But your hard work is paying off. So I think Spirit just wants you to know, whatever you're doing, your spiritual work, we're talking about the ego messing with us. There's times I have to stop my meditation because it's that intent that I'm not able to get past it. And you know what? I'll just say, all right, take a deep breath. I'll get back to it later. And I know that my hard work's paying off. And it's not even work, it's joy. It's joyful work. So to know your hard work's paying off, and know if you open your heart and open your mind and allow spirit to work with you, you're going to get some new ideas of what you can do moving forward. If there's money concerned, if you're not liking your job, if you're looking for what your next life calling is, whatever it is, your hard work's already paid off, that you've laid the groundwork. Now it's time to just step back during this retrograde season, to meditate more, to open more, and to allow spirit to start to input. And those ideas will come sooner or later. They will come. So, gosh, what was I saying? A lot of people are having a hard time sleeping there, and saying choice or throne as it's neither given. So I think knowing that every minute I'm losing the choice, and more thrown into it. That makes sense. Yeah, it does. It make more sense if I slept, but no, I'm just teasing. Not to forget, as an empath, you pick on, and right, but that's an excellent point. Thanks for sharing that. We're a lot of us, if not all of us, are empath. I feel within me the stillness of my center. Good. My heart center, the Shiva, yes, the dancing flame, or like that at the center, the point of the cross. I feel something, or turning of a corner, but no words to explain it. We are turning a corner, but things in the world are slow, so things may fall further before they rise, but we are already energetically turning a corner. I believe that also. Yeah, I know I'm missing some of your amazing comments, so so sorry about that. So if I'm not flashing yours, I'm not playing favorites, just to be clear about that. So I have the Isis Oracle deck with me today. So we get a message from Isis. I need to get like a Vedic Oracle deck, and I love, when you talk about Shiva, Lord Shiva. I was initiated in the 1990s by Kali through a Wicca ceremony, through an initiation in Wicca, and she was the goddess. And it's interesting because there's always like connecting the dots. Like, people forgot how to play that game apparently in today's world. It's like I studied martial arts. It's Filipino. It has nothing to do with India other than the migration trails through southern Philippines, Indonesia, and the southern Philippines. The martial art is called Arnis or Eskrima. Those are the common names. But it's also called Kali. So I studied a martial art called Kali in my teens, 20s, and 30s. And I still practice, although I don't compete or spar anymore, but I still practice. And then the goddess Kali comes in and does the initiation. So she's a very powerful protector. It's a triple goddess of the Vedic traditions. So if you're faced with negativity or evil, Kali is one of the forces you can call on. Sekhmet's another. They're very similar. So now we're going from Vedic to Egyptian, and I have the Isis Oracle deck. Kali Ma, yes. Millie, thank you. Well, let all energy flow through. Yes, Isis. So I'm not going to sing Bob Dylan, but Isis. Oh, maybe I will. Isis, oh Isis, you're a mystical child. What drives me to you is what drives me insane. I love that song. All right, clearing my mind. Here we go. Oh my God. Hands are extra dry. Extra dry. Ancient power mysteries. Hear the rattle of Isis playing. This is a card we haven't pulled yet. This is a new one for our group. Durga, Yolanda. Well, hi, Yolanda. How about Durga? Yes. I don't know, Durga. I'll have to look up Durga. I studied, a lot of yoga, so I know these deities. I understand some of it, but I don't remember Durga or that is. But anyway, ancient power mysteries. This probably isn't the meaning of the card, but I feel like they're saying, like last night, one of the reasons that I didn't sleep is that the energy was bolting through me so much. I felt like that. I might be going through a rebirth, because honestly, I had it's more of a vision than a dream, but my living family, which is very small right now, we're deciding where they were going to lay my ashes. Basically, I don't think I'm physically dying, but if I do, I'll talk to you from the other side. But that was one dream that I was having. I was lying there, and there's just so much energy going through me, and it felt like, and what was happening, I was spinning counterclockwise from my stomach. So I was lying in bed, and from my abdomen, my second chakra, it felt like my whole body was doing these wide counterclockwise circles. So apparently counterclockwise is release. Apparently I'm releasing old stuck emotions from my second chakra now. At least that's the message that I just got. But through vibration and sound, we can step into our power also. So during that time, I was hearing like humming, like solfeggio humming in my mind, kind of like what I do when I channel, with the frequency channeling. Um, so power mysteries. I'm trying to see what else. Looks like the head of a sword. There's pins in it. There's the figure. I think one of the things it's saying is express your power. Again, speak up when you need to. Don't hold things in now. The energies are too strong. If you hold things in, it's going to hurt, basically. Oh, Durga Shakti. Thank you. Yeah, Devi. All right. Thank you for that. Now you jogged my memory. Yeah. Egyptian feet too. If you are strong, yeah, I feel very strong with Native American also. They have my peace pipe here. I have my medicine card. I got my Native American deck. So we're all these cultures are very connected. Shakina, yes. And Kali is a little different, but she is one. Beautiful mother, soft love and fierce love. Yeah, she can have all of these. And I think Katie was talking about Isis love, her empowering ways I've experienced with her. Nice. Especially Shiva, some reason, as the known mudra powers. And Hecate, Sekhmet, Druidenor, totem, now similar name. Yes, very good. Yes, I've done work with Hecate and Demeter, and all the deities. Basically, I still believe that a lot of them were extraterrestrials, helpers and travelers that helped us. Very good. So, let me hide comments. So these are the sacred geometry deck we have here. So we get our frequency for the week. That's how I was taught to say the name Hecate. I mean, if that's the wrong pronunciation, I apologize. That's how I was taught, and Kernunos. So I definitely respect that lineage also. It's said that the Druids that became the Celts were one of the lost tribes of Israel. So it's amazing how all these different wisdom systems are really connected. They all have the same common roots. All right. So what we got is transition number 43. And we are in a lot of transition. That makes sense. And it has a little bit of serpentine energy. Now, we're not in the year of the snake yet, but in about, I think, 7 or 8 weeks, we start the year of the snake. So we're still dragons. Dragon is amazing energy. A lot of people are starting to connect with their dragon totems or their guides. And somebody even said that during one of my transmissions that she saw me like turn into a dragon while I was doing the transmissions. And I do have a dragon helper, so that was very appropriate. And sorry about your your 7 life path race. This is an interesting comment. Yeah. An expression. So yeah, 7 is very much about the unseen. Yeah, it's about the intuition. And Christine saying I have some blocks with the Egypts and their deities, even though I have visions of my. Well, there's probably past life reasons for that, and then Millet saying yes, a balance of light and dark energies. Hecate, protector of witches and mothers, maiden and crone. Hecate helped Persephone out of the underworld so she may live half the year in both worlds. I'm getting chills, so obviously that's speaking to my soul. What you just said about that. So what it says about transition is the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. So that's the key. We let it go and let God. God's in charge. Source, spirit, the goddess, since we're talking about Wicca, which is whatever your belief system is, source will take care of us. We set the intention, get out of the way, allow, and then they work with us for our intentions. It's always to higher and higher, right? 33 in the chat. Oh, it's 34 now. All right. Yeah, let's see. Oh, I have one of Kyle Gray's decks with me. Which one? The Divine Master Oracle I have with me. Yeah. That's what it is. It's always a balance of light and dark energy. That's why I'll use the term dark sometimes because people understand it, but I really don't like it for that reason, because dark exists with light, light exists with dark. Technically, the void came before the light, so darkness, light came from the dark, basically. So, I mean, dark expresses itself in a certain way, but it's trying to expose that in order for us to, again, reintegrate light and dark. So anyhow, don't be afraid of the dark. Anyway, let's see what the masters have to say about that. And the Lemurians. Oh, I love the Lemurians because I am one. And clairvoyance activated. So pay attention to what you receive from spirit, what just comes to you without trying. That's your intuition. That's how God, spirit, or source talks to us. It's through our intuition. Clairvoyance activated, psychic awareness, sensitivity, trust your intuition. And the Lemurians, like, I feel very connected, and part of that might be because I have studied a lot of the Asian martial arts, and they were sort of like the Asians, like the Ring of Fire area, and always drawn to the Big Island. And then I found out later on that firstly that Kilauea, that's Hawaii Island. Kilauea is right on the Merkaba access point. There's only 8 of them. Yeah, the 2 poles. I may be getting the numbers wrong, but they exist on certain latitudes at 19.5 degrees longitude and what is it? 71.5. I don't know the exact degrees, and these are power points. And then I learned that there was an Arcturian portal there, and that's one of my starseed types is Arcturian. So I said, even when I was a kid, I wanted to go to the Big Island. I'd look at the globe and point right to the Big Island. I want to be there. I want to go there. I was a little kid. I didn't know, that from anything, basically. And then when I went, it was like coming home in a way. So I relate a lot to the volcano goddess, to Pele. Not the soccer player Pele, the goddess Pele. What do we have left? I think we're winding down here, right? Which is good because we've been on an hour and 10 minutes. All right, so these are the medicine cards. So this is our animal totems. These only draw from North American animals. Sometimes I use a different deck that's more global. So you're not going to find lions and tigers. Well, you may find a mountain lion, but not a tiger. Or a meerkat. Anyways, let me clear my mind. So what animal totem is working with us this week? And what we got is a Black Panther key 52. So that's a big cat. It's not a mountain lion, but that's a big cat. Black, we talk about light and dark. The black is about the dark, basically. Black Panthers. I love cats, large and small too. Once big cats get used to humans and they become part of the human clan, they want their neck scratched and their faces scratched. They'll have their version of purring. It's like big or small, a kitty's still a kitty in my book, and I love them. And that's part of my Lyran or Vega roots, because that's where the where Sekhmet and Bastet come from. The feline people come from Vega, basically. Anyway, I wanted to look into this too, because there's always a meaning. And also the Panther Party that became known as the Black Panthers were a civil activist group in the 1960s. A lot of you know that. My martial arts teacher was part of the Panther Party, so I got a lot of counter conditioning, reprogramming when I was in my 20s. So I was very fortunate that way. So embracing the unknown. So that's been a theme today. There's always a theme in tarot time. This is embracing the unknown, stepping in the darkness, trusting. Again, when you open your heart, you feel spirit. It becomes more palpable. Do your heart brain coherence. The more you feel spirit, the more you're going to be able to trust in spirit, right? It makes sense. And then step out into the unknown. The one that created you is going to take care of you. You're going to be okay. Take a chance, step out on that limb. It's, we can't take these old fears with us. We're becoming multi-dimensional, not just three-dimensional. Fear is a three-dimensional product of being alive in a human body. It's a survival instinct. It's not a bad thing. Humans would not have survived if humans had not experienced fear. Animals experience fear also, right? But as we ascend, we recognize what it is, and we don't allow that to stop us. So in other words, having courage isn't about losing your fears. It's about befriending your fears and doing what you need to do anyway. That's what true courage is in my world anyway. The Big World of Little Adam. That's my favorite show growing up, because my name's Adam. And I'm a scientist. People don't know, not everybody knows that about me, because I'm an intuitive. No, I studied physics, quantum physics, calculus, differential equations. I graduated with a BA in meteorology. I came all in this through science. And I read the Tao of Physics in the 1970s. That was my first taste of the theory that science is on a trajectory to prove what the ancient masters have been telling us all along. And now as quantum physics is getting more advanced, we're starting to see that happening. So anyway, one more. We have just a quick angel message. And then we're going to wind up. 7 o'clock transmissions with Heather and Adam. Be there or be square. Just teasing. But we're going to do a lot of frequency work to help us to reset into these higher fields. And that way it'll be easier for you to trust in the unknown also. And this is one of Doreen Virtue's decks. You can't buy them anymore. She had we'll say, a change of life and perspective. But she left us with a nice legacy here. And what we got is Mystique, which also has kind of a darkish energy and figure. Keep charging ahead. Don't take no for an answer. Expect miraculous solutions to appear. And that looks like a unicorn charging ahead, coming out of the shadows, but there's light on the face. So coming out of the shadows and into the light. So when you embrace the shadows, then you discover the light also. Anyway, that's what I got for you for tarot time. We'll see you guys at 7. If you missed the December psychic forecast, we shared a lot of information there. It's on the channel. And you might enjoy that. And what else? That's about it. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being part of our community.